And delay seems to be the word of the day at noon when it comes to air travel across the country. The Federal Aviation Administration grounded thousands of flights for several hours this morning due to a computer outage.
Katrina Weber spoke with travelers at San Antonio International Airport and tells us why some fear their troubles may not be over yet.
The news hit as unexpectedly as lost luggage. Travelers arriving at San Antonio's airport for an early flight found out they were in a holding pattern.
I was going to go home from here to Dallas and then to Beaumont, which is where I go to school.
Instead, Ivy Goodwin and millions of travelers across the country were going nowhere fast. The Federal Aviation Administration grounded most early morning departures due to trouble with its computer system.
If we'd have had a text before, we wouldn't have to rush to get here. But
this mother and daughter duo planned to be in Montana by day's end, a girls' trip at a cabin in the woods.
Whenever we fly together, I'm going, it's something insane.
They found themselves waiting, not knowing what was next. Local airline workers encouraged passengers to carry on as usual, to go through security and wait at the gates. Then just before 8 a.m. Central Time, the FAA's grounding and the planes were lifting. Even with traffic resuming, some travelers say their flight plans still could be up in the air. They're worried about how these delays might affect the rest of their trips.
Once we get to Denver and then we go to Montana from there. So we're hoping getting a connecting flight won't be a problem.
The uncertainty has left some shaken. Ivy Goodwin now has grounded herself.
I'm just going to go ahead and reschedule for tomorrow.
Katrina Weber, KSAT12 News.
Outside with live cam as if the computer glitch would another. Some fog this morning. I'm sure that would have created some problems if we hadn't had the other problem first.
I'm guessing it didn't help things at all.
Yeah.
We couldn't see the airport earlier. Now we can, and on top of that, we're starting to see some blue skies. So these clouds, this area of fog finally starting to fade. It took some time. It was persistent. A little corridor here of fog and cloud cover. You can see it from Pleasanton, San Antonio up to New Braunfels, Seguin, up towards the Austin area. Everyone else is dealing with mostly sunny skies, but not here. This area, though, quickly shrinking. The sun's beginning to pop out. We will see it shortly. It has had an effect on temperatures. 67 at the airport, where we're seeing sun. It's 76 in Kerrville, 72 Hondo, close to 80 already in Carrizo Springs, 77 in Kennedy. But I think once the sun comes out, you'll see these temperatures jump up at a pretty quick rate. 72 Helotes, 70 Bernie Stage, 73 Bulverde, 63 right now in Seguin underneath those clouds, but starting to see some breaks just to your south. There is the scene outside, still cloudy where we're looking here as we look towards downtown. 67 cloudy, 61 the dew point, south-southwesterly winds at about 7. And there is still technically some fog out there. Visibility is still at 1.5 miles in the Braunfels, 1.75 miles at Randolph, but this is finally lifting. And again, we'll see some pretty nice weather this afternoon, albeit a little bit warm. We've got a front that'll head our way tonight. That changes things. But before that happens, we're up around 80 today, mostly sunny this afternoon. And then as that front comes through, expect the gusty winds to kick in. How strong will those winds be? We could be looking at 35 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts. We'll talk about when and where coming up in just a few minutes, guys.
Thank you, Justin. Look forward to that. New at noon, 2 San Antonio teens arrested in New Braunfels after they were caught breaking into vehicles and then led officers on a chase. 18-year-old Joe Angel Puente and an unidentified 16-year-old were both taken into police custody. Police say earlier this week they received reports of a group of people breaking into cars and then trying to steal them. When officers went to investigate, they said they found 3 people trying to take off in a gray vehicle. They caught 2 of them and were able to apprehend a couple of them, but a 3rd person was able to get away. The search has ended for 4 missing children and their grandmother, and they have been found safe. According to the Barron County Sheriff's Office, the group was reported missing since January 8th when they were last seen on San Antonio's southeast side. You can read more about that story on our website, KSAT12.com.
Happening today, the story of the double life of a Balcones Heights police officer ends in a shocking shooting. You can join us for a night of true crime with the official debut of the rebranded Texas Crime Stories podcast. It starts virtually on YouTube tonight at 7. Hosts Erica Hernandez and Lee Woolman will look back on the killing and double life of Julian Pesina, a Balcones Heights police officer with ties to the Texas Mexican Mafia, during this exclusive KSAT Insider event. We have all the information on KSAT12, and while you're on our website, you can keep up with new Texas Crime Stories episodes.
Artists sharing their cultural and life experiences in a new exhibit called Between Yesterday and Tomorrow, Perspectives from Black Contemporary Artists of San Antonio. Tiffany takes us to a cultural commons gallery in downtown, and she talked with a local artist on the significance of sharing those life experiences through the exhibit.
Artists are focusing on their different experiences from religion, and they're talking about housing and transportation issues and culture. Local artist Caldrick Dow joins us now. Caldrick, good morning. Tell us about this exhibit.
Good morning. So this exhibition is full of African-American artists who are telling their stories through visual arts, which is a really good thing.
How important is it to have an exhibit like this?
It's very important because throughout the city you don't have, it's scattered around, you'll find one African-American artist in this show, but in this show there's like 9, 10, artists visually representing their stories through visuals.
Show us and tell us about your art piece.
Okay, so this piece here is a collage piece that's made up with a bunch of different pieces, but it's all representing one thing, which is skin tone. The hair that I wanted to focus on, which is waves, which is specific for African American culture, right? So that's one thing that I wanted to emphasize on with this piece, as well as is this strong look in the face, right? Real humble, but a strength there. So that's what I wanted to represent with this piece.
What does it mean to you to have your art pieces here?
It's great because it's representative for people, African Americans, to come to a place that is representing them, right? To see themselves on these walls in downtown San Antonio, right? Which is a really good feeling to see yourself.
Amazing. Well, this exhibit is free and open to the public starting on January 19th. We're going to have all those details on KSAT.com. Reporting from downtown, Tiffany Huertas, KSAT 12 News.
Some intricate artwork.
Amazing.
Awesome stuff. Tom Brady is an interesting perspective heading into the playoffs, especially against the Cowboys. We'll hear that angle with Larry Ramirez coming up in sports.
Waterlogged Californians are on the lookout for more storms, even as they continue to clean up after recent nasty weather. We have the latest still ahead. Welcome back. While many Texans are hopeful for rain in the forecast, people out west are inundated, and more storms are expected in California over the next week.
It's a mess out there. CNN's Camila Bernal reports this comes as residents struggle to clean up after the previous storms.
California needs water, but not like this. Creeks turning into raging rivers, mudslides barreling through neighborhoods, and sinkholes swallowing cars.
These storms hit us like a water balloon exploding and just drop water down through our rivers and creeks. So it's been this excessive amount of flooding.
Blast after blast of torrential rain and wind gusts exceeding 70 miles per hour on California's central coast.
We're soaked. This place is soaked.
The water tormenting people across the state.
There was a lot of excitement, fear, anxiety, stress.
Santa Cruz County Tuesday was in cleanup mode after the most recent storm.
It's just brown water everywhere, and it's just rushing through. It was going fast. We had a canoe strapped up that we thought if we needed to, we could canoe out, but it was moving too fast.
Rachel Oliveira has lived here for 20 years. Her neighborhood and home now covered in mud.
It's backbreaking labor, and, a lot of us that live here in the neighborhood are elderly and can't actually physically do the cleanup. And, with the way that the finances are, with the economy.
At least 17 people have died across California as a result of the storms. Tens of thousands remain under evacuation orders. The onslaught of the so-called atmospheric rivers clearly visible from space.
It's been these cycles over and over again. It's really kind of wearing on the community. We're probably a little over halfway done at this point, so we're not out of the woods yet. We have another week or so to go.
There's been little rest for emergency workers. Dozens rescued in Santa Cruz earlier this week. And a similar story has played out across much of the state. In Los Angeles, Union Station flooded. And to the north, in Santa Barbara County, crews responding to more than 200 incident calls. And it's not over. Forecasters say 4 more storms are expected to strike California over the next 10 days.
You know, more rain, more flood, more mud, more cleanup. I'm just, it's frustrating. I don't know whether to laugh or cry.
What a vicious cycle.
Terrible.
Something else. Ooh, is that sun shining through all that?
It is.
Fog or is that cloud?
Well, some clouds, but the sun's starting to shine through. And we're going to get some warmer temperatures coming up here soon. You saw the scenes there out in California. Still a lot going on there. That's where all the active weather is. It's not so active here. We've got some fronts, but no rain. Nothing like that anyway. The aquifer today is up 1/10 of a foot, 636.3. Helps a little bit, but we're still in a bad situation when it comes to the aquifer. Mountain Cedar, high category, 4,760, molds are low. What does Mountain Cedar do tomorrow? We think it may jump up. We've got some gusty winds headed our way. More on that coming up.
So this morning, Sarah Spivey and I were at McAuliffe Middle School off of Southwest Loop 410, just south of 90, doing Sarah's science. And turned onto the frontage road, couldn't see the school. The fog was, I was like, I'm looking for the driveway going. Oh, it was unbelievably thick.
And we're still seeing those clouds up there.
We're still seeing the clouds. The fog has pretty much gone away, but you're right about the fog. It was very thick. It was very patchy. There were some spots that didn't see any fog at all. And some places that were just really socked in, and it was persistent. It is finally lifting. The sun is popping out. We're going to get a warm day. Here's a look at the satellite picture, and this kind of tells the story. You see this area of fog and cloud cover that just kind of stuck around. So it's clearing out of Pleasanton. Most of Bexar County is still within the clouds right now. New Braunfels, San Marcos, Austin, same story. So it's kind of like right up and down the I-35 corridor here. But we've got a kind of a line of clouds here starting to work its way through. We're going to get some clearing. That's the bottom line. And you'll see plenty of sun, I think, this afternoon. But in the meantime, still mostly cloudy across the city as we zoom in. There have been some peaks of sun here and there. And if you're on the northwest side of Bexar County, sun is out. And temperatures have been warmer, especially in places up there like Helotes, where you're in the 70s, but the rest of the city still in the 60s and still showing a cloudy scene here as the birds come. 67 degrees and cloudy. Dew point is at 61. South-southwesterly winds at about 7 miles per hour. And the clouds are doing a number on temperatures here. This area of green, that's where we've had cooler numbers because we've been socked in. But you go up to Fredericksburg, which is typically a cool spot, 77 there, 75 in Rock Springs, 75 in Carrizo Springs. It's 67, 65 here in San Antonio and New Braunfels, respectively. Around Bexar County, I mentioned Helotes, a little warmer than everyone else, and that's because of the sun, 73 there, but 60s elsewhere around the city. Dew point wise, we're in the 60s. It's starting to get up into that muggy territory. It's not too humid out there, but you feel it. And as you look at the big picture here, that moist air is trying to work north. It's going to come in contact with a frontal boundary that is going in the opposite direction. That is going to dry things out. It's also bringing some very gusty winds. Look at Amarillo, gusting to 47 right now, gusting to 36 in Lubbock. They could see some gusts up to 60 miles per hour this afternoon. That's going to result in some blowing dust, typical West Texas blowing dust that they see every now and again. But that is where all the wind is at the moment, and that's because of that frontal boundary, which is starting to advance off to the south and east. When does it move through here? We think about 2 a.m. tomorrow morning, so this will be pre-dawn tomorrow. And so by tomorrow morning, we'll be dealing with some gusty winds as well as this system pushes through. Unfortunately, no rain for us. There could be some rain across East Texas, but I don't anticipate any rain for us here locally. I mentioned some of the watches and warnings, high wind warnings in effect for the Texas Panhandle with those gusts blowing dust. Also, a high fire danger with dry air and very gusty winds. For us, those gusty winds start to kick in after midnight. So we get to about 8 a.m. tomorrow, gusts 30, 35, maybe even gusts to 40 miles per hour tomorrow morning. So keep that in mind. It's not going to be too cold, but with these northerly winds, it's going to feel kind of blustery, chilly outside. And these winds probably die down by lunchtime, and they really start to come down by tomorrow evening. But it is going to be a windy day for the majority of your Thursday. What about temperatures? What happens there? Well, the front, we should see temperatures get it up to about 80 or so today, but the front brings us down into the mid-60s tomorrow. So there is a difference there temperature-wise. Not a huge difference, but again, with the wind and the drier air, you'll feel the change with this front that comes through tonight. So here it is laid out in the 7-day forecast. 66 tomorrow, 65 Friday, 67 Saturday. I'll point out the cold mornings, Friday morning, Saturday morning. We're down in the mid-30s, likely a freeze in the hill country. And then we're back up into the 70s Sunday, MLK Day. We'll see some clouds, warm temperatures, and maybe a stray shower, but it should not be a big deal with another weak front that comes through and cools us down ever so slightly for Tuesday, guys.
So nice weather for the Spurs' big game on Friday.
Yeah, should be nice.
All right, thanks, Justin.
But before that, they got to play the Memphis Grizzlies. This is like a quirky schedule they've got so far.
It really is. And you know what? I don't know if the players like it. I would only assume because it cuts down on their travel.
Yep.
They played at Memphis Monday night. Then they stayed at Memphis Tuesday to hang out, and then they're playing at Memphis again tonight, where the Spurs will continue to fight because that's what they've been doing all season. And is Mike McCarthy's job on the line Monday night at Tampa Bay coming up? The Spurs will close out their two-game road series at the Memphis Grizzlies tonight at FedEx Forum. Memphis beat the Spurs Monday night 121-113, and they lead the season series 2-0. In that game Monday, the Spurs battled back from a 13-point second quarter hole to take a 5-point advantage in the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, they lost, but once again, Coach Pop praised them for their fight, which is what this young team is all about.
Yeah, it's definitely our mentality. Every single night, how hard we're going to be playing. You know, it's something that we have to do to give ourselves a chance every single night. But it's something that, you know, we want to build on as well. We don't want to be a team that, you know, just depends on, you know, making shots and trying to play pretty and doing things like that. We want to, you know, be in there getting ugly. You know, trying to be the team that plays harder every single night for all 48 as well. And so, you know, hopefully it continues to show. I think we've been doing it more and more throughout these games, and we'll continue to try to do that moving forward.
Grizzlies will host the Spurs tonight at 7. Grizzlies guard Ja Morant, who didn't play Monday night due to right thigh tightness, is not listed on the Grizzlies injury report for this game.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
After going one and done in the playoffs last year against the San Francisco 49ers, and after that lackluster offensive performance against the Washington Commanders in the 26-6 loss to end the regular season, Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones was asked point blank on his weekly radio show in Dallas, is Mike McCarthy's job as the head coach on the line, depending on what happens this wild card weekend against the Buccaneers?
No. I don't even want to. No. That's it. I don't need to go into all the pluses or minuses, but we're not seeing any. We're not basing. I've got a lot more to evaluate Mike McCarthy on than this playoff game.
Okay, so Tom Brady and the Buccaneers are getting ready to host the Dallas Cowboys for Wild Card Weekend. Tampa won the AFC South at 8-9, losing their season finale at Atlanta 30-17, but they really had nothing to play for. Now the stakes are high since it's win or go home.
Oh, it's a big challenge. You know, I think every team's going to be challenged. There's only 14 teams qualify. There's only one that's happy about in the end. So it's got to fight hard. You've got to try to earn it. We've had some, you know, been battle tested, had some tough games. Some we came back from, some we haven't. And, but like I said, close won't be good enough going forward for anybody. But we got to put everything we can into this week. So this is everyone's works hard to get to this point, and now it's there's no more second chances.
No more second chances. The Bucs will host the Cowboys Monday night, 7:15, right here in KSAT12. And Dallas is favored by 2.5 points.
Just 2.5?
2.5.
That's what I don't like about this playoff thing. Dallas goes 12-5. The Bucs are 8-9. The Bucs get to host the playoff game.
Yeah, right.
That just
I know it seems weird indeed.
Very much so.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Larry.
A renewed recall for infant incline sleepers is raising questions about company safety alerts. For years, safety experts have been telling parents to stop using these products, but with more deaths reported. The question now is why and how. Today at 5, how many of these dangerous products could still be in U.S. households, and why experts say the companies aren't doing enough to keep track.
Some good news for Damar Hamlin. He's been released from a New York hospital after being under a doctor's care for more than a week after he suffered that cardiac arrest during a Monday Night Football game. That's according to a tweet from the Buffalo Bills. The 24-year-old Bills safety had been showing signs that he's quickly on the mend. Hamlin was taken to the hospital after his heart suddenly stopped after a tackle during a game against the Cincinnati Bengals.
More people are being diagnosed with COVID-19. In fact, the virus is once again showing signs of a winter surge. CNN's Mandy Gaither has more on the latest concern and why health experts are urging people to stay vigilant.
In the U.S., flu season's still in full swing, but as rates for this virus trend down, the number of COVID-19 cases is ticking up.
This is a new emerging subvariant, and it has risen very quickly across the country.
1 in 5 Americans now live in a county the CDC considers to have a high community level of COVID-19, but only about 15% of those eligible for an updated booster have gotten it, and about 20% of people in the U.S. are completely unvaccinated against COVID-19.
People who have gotten that updated bivalent booster, all the evidence so far suggests that they're still protected against even this XBB.1.5.
That Omicron subvariant has quickly taken hold in the Northeast, and health experts are watching to see if it will spread to other parts of the country too. With at-home rapid tests and cases not being reported, the exact COVID-19 burden on the U.S. is unclear. However, some data suggests viral levels in wastewater are increasing. Hospitalization numbers have now surpassed last summer's BA.5 wave, and seniors are being hit particularly hard.
Obviously, right now, COVID is the thing that is increasing that we need to pay most attention to.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Americans could soon be paying out of pocket for the COVID-19 vaccine and boosters. Vaccine maker Moderna said when the government contracts end, it's considering charging between $110 and $130 per dose. That's according to the Wall Street Journal. In an interview, Moderna's chief executive officer said, quote, pricing is consistent with the value of the vaccine. Another vaccine maker, Pfizer, said it's also looking at charging about the same price per dose, adding they don't anticipate many people will have to pay the full amount. There are patient assistance programs that can help people without insurance get their shots.
Overseas to the war in Ukraine, Russian troops making new gains in eastern Ukraine after months of defeats. Russia claims it captured territory, and the Soledar fighting there has left the town a smoldering ruin. In other areas, the shelling is just about constant. Overnight, one hospital was hit again. However, there were only 20 patients there at the time. All this comes as the U.S. announces that for the first time since the war broke out, Ukrainian troops will be sent to be trained on U.S. soil. Up to 100 soldiers set to begin training next week on the Patriot air defense missile system. The Pentagon says it'll be a few months before those Ukrainian trainees and those Patriot anti-missile batteries get to Ukraine. The National Archives and Justice Department investigating how classified files wound up inside office space at President Biden's think tank. ABC's Ike Ajachi reports the president appearing to distance himself from the discovery.
For the first time, President Biden responding to questions about those classified documents found at a think tank workspace he used after he left the Obama White House.
I was briefed about this discovery and surprised to learn that there were any government records that were taken there to that office.
Sources tell ABC News Biden's lawyers discovered roughly 10 classified documents, some marked top secret, all dated between 2013 and 2016 while he was vice president. Sources say they were found inside a locked closet at his secure office at the University of Pennsylvania. In the 4 years after his time as vice president, Biden worked there as a professor. The New York Times reports the classified papers include briefings on foreign countries from when he was vice president. The White House says Biden's lawyers immediately notified the National Archives, then turned the documents over the next day. The National Archives then reached out to the Justice Department.
I don't know what's in the documents, and we're cooperating fully
The new Republican-led House Oversight Committee also launching its own investigation. They're asking for all documents related to this discovery. However, their letter was not accompanied by a subpoena.
He said it was very irresponsible for President Trump to take classified document to his personal residence and have them in an unsecured location, and it appears he did the same thing.
While Republicans claim this situation is similar to that of former President Trump's possession of hundreds of classified materials, there are major differences. Trump and his aides are accused of repeatedly resisting government efforts, including a subpoena to retrieve the documents. The FBI ultimately getting a court-approved search warrant to get the documents back from his Florida home. Sources say the Justice Department review is well underway, with Attorney General Merrick Garland assigning John Lausch, a Trump-appointed U.S. attorney, to lead the inquiry. Ike Ajachi, ABC News, Washington.
A look outside with live cam, 67 degrees. Okay, we're progressing here. Clearer skies now. The sun's out.
Clearing by the minute. Yeah, it's going to be mostly sunny this afternoon. After what was a pretty cloudy and foggy start, we had a lot going on this morning with that fog. Visibilities were down for quite a while. I want to show you the visible satellite picture, and you see the line of clouds. I mean, it is right over San Antonio. Everyone else is seeing full sun at this point. So it really is just New Braunfels, San Antonio, San Marcos that is underneath this cloud cover. But you see this line here, and this is working to kind of clear things out. So it's going to push northwest to southeast, and you'll see the sun really come out here within the hour, I think. And that's going to warm temperatures up. As we look outside, still cloudy with this view as we look towards downtown, but we can actually see it now. 68 degrees, dew point at 61, southerly winds at about 6 miles per hour. That is ushering in more moisture. So your KSAT 12-hour forecast. We'll go 76 at 2 o'clock, 79 3 p.m., up to 80 for a high today, and then down into the 70s this evening. So it'll be a warm evening. Things change, though, overnight after midnight. We get a frontal boundary through here. It kicks up winds pretty significantly by tomorrow morning, dries us out, and it cools us down for Thursday. We'll see temperatures down about 15 degrees or so from where they are today. We'll talk more about that, what it means for the weekend as well. Some chilly temperatures, at least in the mornings, coming up. That forecast here in just a few minutes.
Girl Scouts are gearing up for cookie season, and those with a sweet tooth have to be excited about it too. Details on the new flavor Girl Scouts are serving up.
And a former Aggie quarterback headed here to San Antonio to play for Incarnate Word. Larry Ramirez with the details on that coming up in sports.
Disney's making some changes that could lure more customers to the happiest place on earth. How it could save folks money on their next trip to the theme park.